Hello coders, good afternoon. A bit late by about half an hour. I did say it was going to start about 3 o'clock, but I was busy. So we're going to continue on from where we left off this morning with the Stripe console scripts. So I need to refresh my memory. I haven't done anything since the last stream a few hours back, so I need to refresh my memory as to what is going on. Excuse me. Yes. So we did the PHP stan, and that all passed. And I believe what I was doing, that's right. That's the command that we created. We need to capture customer created invoices as events, which should go into this report queue. And then from that, we should be able to process the customer. Right, that's what we were doing. Sorry. It took me a few minutes to work out where we had left off. Okay, so let's see now. Right, we were creating a concrete class for each one of the payload types that extends abstract, that implements the interface. Gotcha. And this is all to replace the payload handler, isn't it? Yep. All right. So, okay, before I get into the Stripe stuff, let's take a look at, actually, before I get into running Stripe, let me just double check something. That is customer created. We need to make sure that when the webhook comes in, so web hook, or is it just hook? I think it's hooks controller. There we go. When we do handle request, we need to make sure that it is a valid, if we do validate here, we want to make sure that the type is valid. So make sure that comes into the valid. Yes, it does. We did that. Sweet. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a purchase then. So let's log out. Wow, why am I so coffee? I was exercising on my lunch break, but I can't. Meh. All right, so we're gonna we'll do a join now. We'll create an account, and what we'll do is, I believe we've got the Stripe. There we go. Stripe events. We've already got one of these coming through. Maybe they're old events that are coming through. Let me just see whether that's come through as anything. No, okay. Okay. Okay, let's hit this. Okay, so I need to create my account. What's the date today? Is it the 12th? Of the 5th, 21. That'll be our username, and we'll do like I'm sure we'll do more than one today. Chances are the Stripe isn't logged in and hooked up and all that jazz. So, although we just did see testing.howtocodewell.net, we did just see one fire through. Let's hit register here. Now, this should take us to a checkout page, which just has a button on it. I'm yet to sort that out. Excuse me, let's hit checkout. Now, what was weird in the last stream, something I've actually noticed over the last few streams, to be fair, YouTube reports on the dashboard that there is like, with the one I did last time, it was like 193 or 4 watches, like people actually viewing it. And then I put it live, and it came down to like 52 or something like that. So I don't know whether the numbers. I don't know whether I should see the numbers as true, or whether YouTube does some form of checking of those numbers, like once it's been published. I don't know. Anyway, who knows? Just an interesting tidbit there. 2, 4, or 3. I don't think it matters. 1, 2, 3, and we'll put that on the card, and we'll put a dummy postcode in. Let's hit processing. Now this should. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So we got customer created. So yes, that has come through. Or no, sorry, that I can't tell. That has fired to Stripe, which means that hopefully we'll get something back. Just interested to see. Do we have anything in the reports? Something's come back. Okay. Yes, yes, we've got our customer created. See? Boom, boom. That's brilliant. Okay. Okay, so that's the one we're playing with today. I'm not bothered with these at the moment. It's just this one. Okay, let's grab it from the database and add it into the fixtures, meaning that I don't have to do this anymore. Let's do that. So let's go to from here. Actually, we'll just grab it from. Sorry. That's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to move that to one side, like that. Right, let's evaluate the shell. Let's not evaluate, that's evaluate. There we go. Let's do MySQL. Yes, I think that is correct, is it not? Hang on a minute, no. I've been playing with Kubernetes over the last few days. I have a database that's on my local host, and then I've got it. The database though that we're using is in Docker. There we go. exec db, and we're going to go in as all of that stuff. Yes, so if we did select all from, I think I called it stripe underscore webhook. No, okay, fine, I need to use the database. Okay, select. Actually, yeah, select type. Is it type? I think it is, from Stripe webhook. There we go. Right. So then if I did select, is it payload? I'm guessing from Stripe webhook, where type, we've only got the one, is equal to customer.created. There we go. Yay, it was. Right. So there is somewhere in amongst all of this randomness, this is the payload. That is what we need to put in. Let's grab all of this stuff. Wow. So this is a base 64 encoded thing, and I'm gonna struggle to try and get to the end of it without it going too fast. There we go. There we go. There we go. Just got it. Just got it. Right. So now we're gonna create a fixture in data fixtures in Stripe webhook thingy thing here. This is the one, and I need to create an array with the type of customer. It should basically be the same as this one, to be fair, created like that. And the payload, will be, fingers crossed it's still on my clipboard, will be that. There we go. Boom. Okay, so we'll just copy these for ease. We do need to change the event ID, I think. Let's do. Hey, what's up? We're gonna select from what was it? Event ID? I think it was event ID. There we go. That's the event ID. Boom. Grab you. Push you into there. Thank you. Okay, so now when we run this, we should have always a customer created event. And in this random garbled string of our base 64 encoded serialized payload, there is the username that we have logged in by, which was I can't remember. It was that could be a problem. I think because we're going to have to tie this up to the customer, aren't we? If we go to user fixtures here, let's grab that for a second. We're going to have to create a new user for this particular account, which I believe, well, we'll have to change that to be 10. And I think I had it as today's date /1. Yes, I did, didn't I? So it's 12.05.211. That is the password. Doesn't have a Stripe ID yet. Then we've got our contact bits and pieces. So I'll just fill all this out with what we've got here. That's fine. And that was the username and password I think I used. It doesn't matter because this will be a completely new thing. Okay, let's save that. Right. So now what do we do? I guess what we could do is rebuild the database with the hope that the new customer will be created. The Stripe event fixture will be added. So if I ran this again, we should have these two. Let's do that. Let's do a make db test rebuild. So we'll rebuild the database. And what we'll do, what we'll do now is we'll run the command to get the queue back, and we should have the invoice paid and the customer created event. Marvelous. So now we should be able to run our new customer created console script. I'm always a bit nervous when I do this because I haven't got any tests against this. I basically just threw this together in the previous stream, so I'm not confident. I'm not confident. But the output for this is that we want to create a Stripe customer entity with the Stripe customer ID from the payload, and we want to set that to the customer. So I suppose what we should do, just to have a look at the database whilst we're in it, we'll do select. Is it? I'm guessing here customer underscore ID from user where ID is equal to, and it's the ID that we've just created. It's the new account, isn't it? That we've just created, which is this one. This is why I have hard-coded IDs. But this is test data, obviously. Right. Okay, it's null. Why though is that? Oh, I was gonna say, why is that FRE? I had a problem with the command. I think that needs to be remove that. There we go. Null. So if I run this command, the customer ID should be set now. Okay, fingers crossed. Here we go. Of course there's an error. Of course there's an error. Because Pete hasn't written any unit tests against it. So it's going to fail. Always. Undefined index ID. Marvelous. There has been an error, undefined index ID. Now that is going to come from store it's going to come from here. Yeah. Give me a second. I just need to shoot out for a minute. I will be back very, very shortly. Sorry about that. Right. What was I doing? Why is that not changing to the code view? Thank you. There we go. Right, what was I doing? Oh yes, undefined index ID of this payload. And what we were doing there is we grabbed the payload from the event and we wanted to do an unserialize. Let me quickly do a dump. Var dump of event payload, because we've done an unserialize and we've done a base 64 decode. So yes, so that should be correct. We'll have a go. Let's bring this out for a bit. Aha. Oh wait, I think it's because stripe object. Did we do a 2 array? Yes, we did a 2 array. So let's do that as well. Subscriptions. Hang on a minute. This doesn't look like our customer. We've got. This doesn't look. We've got, there we go. Oh, it's a object. I see now. Object ID. Ha 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 ha. Right. Found it. Found it. I found it. So it should be object ID. There we go. Right. Let's. This is still null, obviously, right? So let's run that. There has been an error notice. Undefined index. Oh, this is because this is going to be an object again, isn't it? Yes. If we go into. Oh, where does it live? It lives in here, doesn't it? It's this. There we go. Right, let's try this again. Yay! There we go. That's what we wanted to see. And if I did this, we should see that we have the customer. That's the Stripe customer ID. Well, that's the ID of the Stripe customer entity. So if we did a select from, or if we did select all from, even better. Stripe customer, where ID is equal to this, then we should have the customer ID. Yay! Yes. Good stuff. And it's active as well. Okay, so what I need to do now, if I was to run this again, it would just hopefully skip over it and go, oh, it's already done. It's fine. There you go. User is already a Stripe customer skipping. But what I would like to do now is update the state. Excuse me. Update the status. So it's that one, isn't it? So the status down here, because this is only getting new statuses on events that have a status of new. So I need to update that status to something else. So I think this needs to be done in the abstract. If we go to abstract here. Man, I ran up those stairs. That was a bad idea. Let's get status. There we go. Get status. So we want to do a get status of another status which is processed. That's what we want to do. That's processed. So. Not all about AI. Thank you for saying hello. Hope you're well. Yum, yum, yum. Okay. So let's create a protected method in here. And let's call this is it let's call this complete or finish or end or yeah, finish event. And what we need to do, pass in the Stripe webhook as a webhook. Now what this is going to do is it's going to say, right, find me the process status. So this is status is equal to this. Get status. Why can I not find get status? That's so weird. It's not allowing me to find that. Odd. This get status, where we have Stripe webhook status of processed. So that's going to return the status back. And then we need to do webhook set status as the status that we've just created. We also want to do webhook. What else can we do? Event ID, payload. I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's good. Then we do this. We should have the entity manager. Yep. Let's do persist of webhook, and then let's do this entity manager flush. Now this is very unperformant of me because this is all happening within a loop, but let's just get the first one working, shall we? And then we'll have a look at how we can make it a little bit more performant. But that's how we finish the event. So when we go over to here and we run this as the customer created jobby, we just do this. Yeah, come on. This finish event passing in the event, which is the Stripe webhook. There we go. Now this should mean that it's set or processed and finished. And it should mean that the next time it runs, it won't be going over this one again because it's already been processed. Yeah. Right, so what I can do is I can reset the database again, and then run the command, and then that should update everything that we've just seen. And then I'll run the command again, and it should say that there's 0 events available. So just reset the database, get it all through, do all the fixtures and everything that we've just updated. So kind of using my fixtures like you know, a stable set of data. Well, I suppose that's what it is, right? So now if we were to run this again, not that. Not that. Hang on, well, yeah, whatever. The database has been wiped, so it's not going to be in there. So, sorry, if we ran this again, it should find it. It should update the customer, and then if we were to run this again, fingers crossed, it should say there's 0 events left. Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. Wonderful. Good. So it's not going to go over everything that's been done before. Excellent stuff. Now, that we only have the one thing at the moment, but let's just say that we had, like, you know, hundreds, if not thousands, tens of thousands of things. What I would do is I would batch these up, and then I would put the flushes at the end, and I would flush after a certain batch number, but we're not there yet. So that's that done. That is that done. Whoop, whoop. Let me, before we celebrate too much, let's go into PHP Stan, because I'm pretty sure PHP Stan isn't happy with what I've just done, so we'll just run that and see. Chances are there's going to be an error. Something to do with a type or something. Yep, I thought so. Finish event has no return type. And this one here is set status expects the status, and I've passed in status or null. Yeah, thought that would be the case. So that's in the abstract, and it's line 37, which is this. Aha, that needs to return. I guess we would return nothing. So that would return void. There we go. And what was the other one? Line 40. Which is this one. Aha. So we need to do if status is an instance of Stripe webhook status, and we should be always checking whether or not it isn't, and then throwing in an exception. Throw new exception cannot find status and then we'll pass in this as the extra piece. Good. That's really good. I like that. I like that a lot. Apart from I can't spell exception. Okay. Are you happy with this, Stan? Can I run my tests now and just have a little bit of a chill for a minute whilst this goes through? Whoops! Nearly knocking a glass of Coke all over the keyboard. Right, that's done. I'm going to run some tests. Let's do that. We haven't done that in a while. Now, none of this is unit tested, which is something. Whoa, that was code sniffers. That's all right. They fixed a bunch of stuff. Let's run that again. So yeah, I need to run some tests for this, or write some tests for this. And I can think already of one test that will fail. Hang on. This is something. Is this something to do with the cyclomatic complexity here? Avoid excessive. Oh no, it's not. It's excessively long names. Oh, okay. Stripe customer created event processor command. That is quite long. Stripe customer created event. Stripe customer. How can I processor? I guess what we could do. That is true. That is a large length class name. So customer created event, I'd still want. I still want Stripe. But what about Stripe customer created? Stripe customer created. I still want those three things. Stripe customer created. I'm umming and ahhing about event and processor. I still need to keep the command. That's you need to keep that. Maybe I should just call it Stripe customer created command. Or drop the processor. Event command. Yeah, we'll drop the processor. We know, you know, it is a processor, but we'll drop that. Let's drop it from the file name, which would be somewhere in here. Yep, looks good to me. Right. Was that PHP MD? Yes, it was. All right, mess detection. Yes, I have messy code. These tools do keep you on your toes. Okay, so database is fine, clearing the cache. I'm really interested in the unit tests and the integration tests, and I think there's one integration test that will fail. And that's because we have a test on the queue report, and obviously I've added a new row to that report, so I've got a feeling it's going to fail, but we'll wait and see. I'm not bothered with the acceptance tests. We can run those later. They take ages. So these are the unit tests. Fingers crossed the unit tests are right. I don't think I've touched anything to do with those. It's just the integration. I think there's one that might fail. So that all the unit tests have passed. Here we go. Yeah, I thought so. Thought that was the one. The event queue report. Let's just wait until they all run through and see if there's anything else. I'm sure there is. And it's because, for that one at least, it's because the tests that I wrote for these commands, they are literally just checking the output. So they run the command, they process the command, and then they obviously check the output. So what we can do, it's in tests, it's in integration, and it would be in command, and it would be this one. Yeah, so it runs the command as you would normally run the command, and then it checks the output, so it returns the output. So I've got a feeling I need to put in another row here. But is that the only one? So far it is. Now each one of these will reset the database back to their previous state, which is great because it means that I can test that things have actually changed, as in like the things that the command should have done has actually done the thing that I wanted it to do. So what we can do with when we write that, yeah, here we go. Here we go. So essentially what I need to do with this, that was the only one, right? That was, right. I'm going to jump into the container and I'm just going to run that one command just because I want to, that was my blue-green deployment stuff I was playing with the other day. Bash, there we go. So it's been code set run -g, and no, it's not, it's the suite name, integration -g, and I forget, I can't remember what it is off by heart. It's this here. I can't spell integration, can I? Integration, is that it? Right, there we go. So it's that, and essentially I grab that and I put that in there like this. Is it the same output each time? Yes, it is. Good. And I remove the pluses like this. That's good. Right, let's run that again, and that should, fingers crossed, pass. If not, I've screwed up the formatting. Yes, sweet. Okay, that's good. But there is we should really do another test specifically for the customer created command. So if we ran, if we grabbed this one, sorry, this is going to be Stripe customer created. Is it event? Did I call it event? Yeah, event command test. Customer created event. Right. Okay, so we're gonna write a test now that does run the command that we've just ran, which is, what is it, this one here. So that goes in there. There we go. Now let's just run the test. I know it's going to fail, but it'll give us the output of what we need. So I'm going to just delete all of this stuff and paste that in. Now this will fail, but it will spit out, no it won't, cannot redeclare. Oh dear. Fine. Okay, that'll do. Right, let's run that thing. It should fail. There we go. That's what we wanted. Although, hang on. Wait. Why is that? That's not right. Hang on a minute. That's. Oh no, it is right. Sorry, it's this up here. I was looking at this. This is the expected. It's this. So I need to paste that in to there, and I could probably do without these. Right, let's run that again. So as I said, it'll reset the database, so it brings it back to having one in the queue, and then it will run that and process. Now each time it's doing that, it's obviously running and building the queue, or running the queue. So what we could do which I suppose is a good idea. So once this is done, so we get the output and hooray, but we should also make sure that it's actually done the thing that we wanted it to do. And I know that we've checked it manually, but it's always good to have this as a sort of some form of backup. So I think one of the checks I can do is to make sure that obviously the webhook has the event has finished, and also that the customer in question has the Stripe ID hooked together. So I'm dubious now as to how I would do that. I know that Codeception has a database thing. It's this tester, isn't it? No, this is looking like it's doing... Do we have anything database-wise? No, I'm connected to... I can see in the database. There we go. So I can run database calls from here. So that's great. So I am connected to... I don't see in the database. I flush. I grab column from the database. I grab from database. I have in database. I see in database. Okay, let's do the... Trouble is, I don't actually know the IDs for these things. I know the ID of the customer, because that's hard-coded in the fixtures. I'm going to have to refer back to Google, I think, for this. And see how they've done it. Codeception database. I guess you would call it a helper. There we go, DB Codeception. So we would, I've done all this, that's all good. That's all good. I want to have a look at it. Here we go, C in database. Users, name, and that will generate select all from users where okay, I suppose what I could do is grab the event ID. Off you go. Grab the event ID. So is there a grab method in here? Grab column from I grab a column from the database. Do I want to grab a column or do I post users? So if I did, if I grab the event, right? So if I did event is equal to this tester, and then it's grab from database. What was that repository there? Grab from repository. What does that do? It's not on here. All right, let's just keep to grabbing from the database. Okay, so then we grab from database. Yes. Right, we then pass the table name, I think. So this is going to be Stripe webhook, I think. And this would be the query, right? So this would be type is equal to customer dot created and I guess that returns an array. Hang on, why you expected parameter of string is provided. Whoa. It's a string, man. Type is cast type to string, but you're doing it as an array. So grab from database. They're exactly the same. Don't understand that. Why do you want me to cast? Hang on. All right, let's get into the actual. Here we go. The column. Right, so the column, I don't know why it's showing an array here as a second argument, and it's a string. That's a bit weird, isn't it? But it's more like this one up here. So the column is going to be oh, it's a comparison. I see. Right, whatever. So the column would be type. And the criteria would be an array. Where type is equal to be... Is that right? That's not right, is it? I can't. That doesn't make any sense. Email, where email. So that's grabbing the email address. Oh, I see. No, we don't want to do that. We want to grab the whole thing if that's possible. No, we don't. Sorry, we just want to grab the status. That's what we want to do. We want to grab the status. So status, where the type is customer.created. There we go. There we go. So that would be event status. And okay. So that's going to return the status ID. So we would need to grab the status ID. Sorry, we would need to grab the internal name. From Stripe webhooks underscore status. And we would want to get the internal name where the ID is equal to this event status ID. And we then want to do, I don't know if this is going to work, we then do self assert same. The expected is Stripe webhook. It's not that, is it? It's not type. Is it type constant? No, I don't think it is. No, that's the type. That's not what I'm after. I'm after... I haven't put it there, have I? I have. That should be in. That really should be in a constants file. Never mind. It should be processed. There we go. And also, that's the expected, and then this will be the actual. And we should also use these as constants too, because this makes sure that everything is wired up. So Stripe webhook type constants, and that is customer created. There we go. Right, let's just run this test. I don't know if this is going to work. It's probably going to fall flat on its face, to be fair, but we'll give it a go. Column not found. Unknown column status in field list. Is this status ID? I think it is. Yeah, it worked. Wonderful. If we were to change this up, right? So if we were to change this up to be, change that to be new, for instance, or invalid, it doesn't matter. And then run this again. So what this is doing is it's resetting the database back to what it was before, processing the events, and then making sure that the event is now processed by checking in the database that whole thing is set up. So you can see that it should be processed, but it's actually being set to invalid. So we changed that to be processed. Great stuff. So I guess also what I need to do is actually make sure that this has make sure that the customer has actually been wired up. Now we hard coded the customer. So let's put down in here. Let's check that the event has processed. Okay, then check the customer has a Stripe customer ID. There we go. Right. So there's that one there. So what we can do is we can get the customer. We get the Stripe customer ID is equal to this tester grab from database users or user, I think it is. The column is Stripe customer ID, and the criteria is where we have an ID which is set to the ID that's in our fixtures file. And then what we want to do is we want to do an assert is not null. No. Is not null. Assert not null. There we go. And so that would be the Stripe customer ID. We want to make sure that that's not null anymore. So this would be in our users fixtures that we just created earlier. We loaded that up. That is the thing. I've gone on. Where's the test? That one. There we go. Right. There we go. All good. If we were to change this to be that, for instance, what happens? That's interesting. So it's fair. That's interesting. What is that then? Yeah, we'll do a var dump. That's weird because that doesn't exist. Oh, I probably have to do VV on this, right? Yeah. Okay, so these are the database calls that it's made. So select all from Stripe WebHook where type is parameters customer created. Then this one here is webhook status where the parameter is this one. That's cool. And then this one is Stripe customer ID where it's this. So I suppose we should ensure that we have a user actually. So assert assert not null. Hang on, this doesn't make sense. Is that it, the blank space? I'm trying to print out that ID, but I can't. It's not. Can't. I know that var dump will give me the data type, so. What if I just kill it? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. False. So it's not going to be null. I suppose I should check if it's a string, right? Or I should check if it's empty. Yeah, we'll do that. Assert. Not empty. Oh yeah. Oh, I need to get rid of that. Right, that, fingers crossed, that should fail. Come on, fail. Fail, fail, fail. I've never wanted code to fail so more. There we go. Right, so now if we were to remove this, does it pass? Yes, it does. Okay, if I was to... no, that should be fine. That should be okay. If it's not empty, because null is empty, right? So I'm going... Yeah, that should be fine. That's correct, isn't it? Hang on, I'm doubting myself. This is an embarrassing moment as a PHP developer. PHP -a. I just want to double check something. N is equal to null. We want to do var dump, and we want to do I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm sure it is, but I'm doubting myself. We want to do var dump is empty n. I was hoping that would return true. What? Right, I got a better idea. Let's have a look at this. Yes, it does that. Actual is that. Yes, that is correct. Logical not. Static is empty. There we go. Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah. Yep. I'm happy with that. Okay, right. So that's all good then. We've tested this out and we've made that all good stuff. We can now commit this into the workflow. So find me a tab. Let's come out of this. git status. Quite a lot of change there, but we were refactoring and playing around with everything else. I'm going to do make tests a minute, just to run through PHP static analysis, PHP stan, the code formatter, PHP MD. I just want to double check a couple of things. I won't run through all the tests because we know they all pass. That's good. And then, how long have we got? Oh, we've got some time. We'll refactor the invoice paid event. We'll just wait for that one to finish. Come on, come on. Clear that cache down. Looks like it's going to rain. What's new in England? Right. Yeah, I'm going to kill that. That's fine. Git commit -am adding customer created Stripe event command. Git push. We're going to merge this in to staging. That's what we're going to do. Staging. I can't remember the branch name. It is that one, I think. Yep. Okay, we've got a merge conflict. Okay, what is this merge conflict you speak of? Resolve conflicts. Hit the merge thing in here. Oh, it's the SQL thingy. That's alright. I'll accept theirs. That's fine. That's cool. I can also drop the thing on stash. So git stash drop. There we go. Okay, let's do some pull requests. Quite a few files, 14 changed. So we created the event, we created the fixture, we updated the fixtures, we created a mechanism to allow us to do invoices and customers, and the invoices, the stuff that we're going to do in a minute. We've managed to do the unpacking of stuff, and we are okay, we just removed that and moved it down. Okay, that's fine. Sorry, I'm just going through the code. That's fine. These are all new files. We've updated the SQL. That's the test for it. Yeah. All right, I'm happy with that. Let's do a pull request. Okay, that is going to go through the pipelines now. So if we did, where are we? Actions here. There we go. So yeah, it's going to go through the things. And also, let's have a look. there was one more, wasn't there? Whilst we're at this game. That's the open pull request. Subscription features. That's the new one that we need to do. That's the blue, green, and the Linode stuff that I'm playing with later on. So let's have a check on these files. Account controller. This is where we removed. This is what we did earlier. We put it all in a different twig, didn't we? That's right. We moved all this. I don't see it. And then we added that. That looks fine. That looks good. Yeah, happy with that. I'll create a merge on that. A pull request for that one too. Again, that's going to go through the pipelines. Good. Good. Good bit of progress today. So we kind of need to wait for all these to go through. And then once they're in, we will work through the invoice and we'll refactor that. So that's the staging one. We want to have a look at the main CI. There we go. So it's now doing all the unit tests, which we know should work. Yes, they do. Yep. It's always good to run them locally before you do this, because this can take some time. Okay, so this is now doing build and push, which is building the new Docker image and pushing it out to the Docker Hub. So this is the thing that can take a bit of time. I think though we are in a good shape though, because the things that we've done will allow me to create different commands in a very snap together like manner, which is very nice. I'm going to clean up my local MO. Let's just do git checkout. Git branches. Let's see. So I want to keep the blue, green, and I want to keep the Linode staging because they're the things I'm working on for Kubernetes. Although, have they been merged in? I can't remember whether I've done that or not. Let's have a look. No, Linode staging, no. Blue-green is okay, it's behind, but it's already been merged, so I can get rid of that. As long as I keep this. So, okay, let's go ahead and start removing some stuff. So, I'll do it in another thing here. And composer git branch -d and this one here. And we skipping that one, this one. In fact, we can do one step better than this. We can do args, and we can delete all the ones that are prefixed with fixtures. Can we? Yes, we can. There we go. So if we did git branch now, we should just have features linode staging, which is something that I do need to keep, and main and staging. That's fine. So these actions are still going through. Okay, that's doing the pushing. I think I need to break this up a bit. I think the push needs to be done at a different step. The build and the push, I think that needs to be done in a different step. I think the unit tests are great. I will eventually get my integration and acceptance tests running off of here, but I need database access, so I need to do something with the GitHub actions for that to work. Whether or not that's a staging database that I hit, like a test database that I keep hitting somewhere on the net, or whether it's a an actual database, you know, in a Docker image on here, I don't know. But I think the build and the pushing should be done at a different point, so when I'm actually ready to do a deployment. Although saying that, I don't know, I have to think about that. Maybe not. Are these... yeah, they're still... How far along are you? I can force it in. Yeah, they're still running the same thing. Okay. Right, that's been ticked. That's good. So I can merge that in at least. Confirm the merge. Delete the branch. And I've again forgotten to link the pull request to the issue. So that was this one here. So I'll close that. And this one is our... this branch has a conflict. God damn. Okay. Let's do what it says, shall we? So, git fetch origin, and then check that out. And then do a git merge main. Well, let's do a git, yeah, let's do that. It's already up to date, interesting. Git checkout main. Let's do a git pull, make sure that we got the latest. Merge. Alright, this is the database, isn't it? That's the dump of the database, something that I'm going to remove out of this thing anyway, but what we need to do is just accept theirs, I think. And then push up to main. Off you go. Done. Right. off it goes. Okay, so if we did git poll, just to make sure we've got everything, I'm pretty sure we do. Yep. Let's now refactor the invoice command. Invoice. Command. So with this, we are going to be working through, and yeah, that's all good. This one, and I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to change this to be, not that one, sorry, it's this one. I'm going to remove the processor part of this to make it consistent. Yep. Hang on, refactor, rename. It's okay. I want to rename the class. That's all I want to do. Thank you. Hang on a minute. That didn't. That. There we go. There we go. Symphony of Support plugin update available. This is probably what's causing the pain. Let's hit update on this. Now restart. Of course, I need to restart. Yes. I've noticed recently, especially with things like Kubernetes and Docker, that if you don't update them when they want you to update them, then they fail. Okay, so we're back in the room. All right, so to sort this out, we want to extend an abstract. Come on, find it. Are you still indexing? You are indexing. Right. Let's wait for PHP Storm to do its thing. Are you done? Good. Ah! No, don't delete the whole thing. That's not going to make my life any easy. Right, abstract Stripe event processor. Okay. So this is an abstract class, and it requires a stub, which is getType, and that getType requires us to return a string, which will be the same string as we have in the customer event command, which is, well, it's not the same string, the same type. This one here. There we go. So down here we want to return self event type. There we go. Are you happy now? Yes. Now, there's a couple of things we want to do. The constructor, what do you require? An entity manager interface, that's what you require. Okay, so yeah, we want to remove the Stripe manager bag and the user manager. And instead we want to replace this with the entity manager interface, which is the interface. Thank you. So we need to get rid of these things. Now this is going to break all the things. And we extend that into there, or we inject that into there, I should say. Right, we've broken a ton of fun, haven't we? A ton of stuff. I'm going to stand up. My back is killing. Bear with me a minute whilst I deal with the desk. Never remember which button to press. Okay, so that's fine. This needs to change. I think I need to do a split view of, just because I can't remember how I wired it up. We need to open up this one and let's do a split view just so I can see right and left. Ah, that's the factory. That's what we need to inject into instead of the payload thing. Gotcha. Okay. And what did we call it in here? Let's keep it consistent. Factory. Woo. Good, good. Right, in configure is the same. Well, same deal. And then it starts getting interesting in the execute. So we get new events. So where we do event, get events, this get events. So that doesn't exist anymore. Off you go. That doesn't exist anymore. That doesn't exist anymore. That doesn't exist anymore. That doesn't exist anymore. Right. Now we've broken a lot of stuff. But that's fine. So this is now get new events. And new events will be, I want to remind myself, it's getting the status, and then it's getting events based on the event type. And the event type is based on the concrete class, because that's abstract. And the concrete class is returning the event type, which is, that needs to be different. That needs to be type invoice paid. There we go. That's good now. Right, so that's that bit done. This bit done. And then we jump through into loop over the events. We get create the output prefix, and then it's this bit where it starts getting a bit funky. Payload, make payload store, webhook. All right. And we rename that to be Stripe webhook. Okay, so then it starts getting specific into what this command is trying to achieve. So in this case, it's trying to get the user. Yeah, we need to make sure that the payload is this payload store is the right one. So payload store is, in this case, it's going to be Stripe invoice event no, that's not right. Invoice, sorry, Stripe payload, that's what I've called it. Payload, and it's invoice. That's the payload type. There we go. Cannot find. Oh look, that's wrong. That should be cannot find. Invoice. There we go. invoice event. Fine. All right. So then we try and get the user. So what have we got at this stage? We've got the payload store, which has unpack get ID. That's not what we're after. We're after, and yeah, I need to fill this class out. What we need to do is, I can't remember what I've called them. It's the payload handler, I think it was, and it's in Stripe, in event, in handler. And it's that one, I think. Yeah. Get user, get customer, get repository. And if we do the store, the old one was this. There we go. That's what we're after. So I'm going to pop this over to here. So we'll do. Well, we'll grab this. That's all we need. All these. There we go. Because these are the specific calls for this particular payload type. So, if we go back to not that one. That one. We should have payload store. There we go. Get customer ID, get customer email, get plan ID. So we can do customer email. And we can do user repo is equal to this entity manager get repository user class user is equal to user repo find by email, which is the email that we've got with the customer email. That replaces this. I will refactor this and put this in things. Don't worry about that. So there we go. That now gets the user back, which means that we can continue getting our current subscription, which means that, yep, so get subscription plan. Get the plan ID. Let's put in some comments. So get user, get selected subscription plan. There we go. So we want to do this. No, we don't. We want to do payload store. Get plan ID. That becomes our plan ID. And then we want to do subscription plan repo is equal to this entity manager get repository subscription plan class subscription plan repo find by external ID, or is it internal ID? It's external ID because that's the no, it's internal. Is it external? I forget. I think it's external. I think it is external. And so plan ID here. Come on, plan ID. So that deals with this. That should get us our subscription plan. All right, so once that's done, we then create the Stripe customer if there wasn't one already. So I suppose we should do that. So Stripe customer ID is equal to its payload store get customer ID. That deals with this bit. Then this bit down here, handling the Stripe customer. If we've got the user already, so we do user get Stripe customer, and we can do if isn't an instance of Stripe customer, then we do Stripe customer is equal to new Stripe customer. Stripe customer set Stripe ID is Stripe customer ID. Stripe customer set active is true, and then we do this entity manager persist of the Stripe customer, and then we do user set Stripe customer as Stripe customer, and then we do this entity manager persist user, and we do this entity manager flush. Okay, so that handles this one, and it also handles handle the subscription plan. So the subscription plan. So this is where we come to a bit of a crossroads, because ideally all of this needs to run in its own class, and that class is something that we built the other day, which was in here. Yeah, so there's a factory that takes a work unit, a user, and the selected subscription plan, right? And then it works out whether or not it's a new. It makes a decision as to whether it's an upgrade, renew, downgrade, and cancel. So we need to inject this in, I think. So yeah, we would do that at, let's make some room. In here. So this processor factory private Stripe I can't remember what I've called it. It's definitely a factory. It's not that. What did I call it? Subscription. It's not. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah. That's what I want. In there. So when we get to this point where we want to handle the subscription plan, we should be able to do this. Subscription factory, make passing in the user, which is the customer, and the selected subscription plan, which is gets selected subscription plan. Get subscription plan. User get subscription plan. What am I doing with this? Hang on. Don't think I'm doing anything with it. Plan ID. Find by external. No, I'm not. Can I just move that away, because that's getting in my way. Off you go. So this would be selected subscription plan, and it would then make this old thing, set the customer and the subscription plan, and then we would do processor is equal to you, processor, I think it's just process. Yeah. Well, we would do validate first, and then we do process. Nope. I think that's how we left it. Because an invoice paid could be anything. It could be a payment for a new subscription. It could be a payment for a renewal. It could be a payment for an upgrade or a downgrade. So it's quite a broad spectrum. Now I don't know whether this is going to work at all. Probably won't. I've got 15 minutes to work out whether it will. I think what we'll do is we'll do what we did before. We'll work through any stan issues first, because there's bound to be some. Let's queue out that. Let's do make static analysis. I'm assuming there's I'm pleasantly surprised. Alright, let's just do make tests and see. I'm kind of half expecting there to be errors. There must be some code style errors. Must be, yeah, I thought so. Only the one though. Interesting. Or the three, I should say. So we've already done stan, so we know that's fine. That's good. Have we done mess detection? Sorry, I looked away. Have we done mess detection? No, we haven't. That's what I'm interested in. Mess detection. Okay, that looks fine. Oh, we know we did do mess detection and it didn't find anything. Okay, that's good. That's good. All right, let's back out of this. Let's see if we can run this. So let's do. I'm gonna have to dive into the container, which is not that command. That's my bash command that I was creating for Kubernetes. It is bash that one. There we go. Get into the container there. Let's do bin console, and very quickly let's run this and see what happens. I'm going to put in a little note here just to say done or something, just to let me know. So we'll do processing. And then just done. Just to keep tabs on where it is in the command. Let's grab that command, which is somewhere around here. It's not that one, it's this one. Process invoice paid. All right, let's give that a blast. I very much doubt this will work. So it's found the one event that we've got. It's now working on that one, and yes, there is an error. Thought so. So there is an error on abstract process. There has been an error. Validate method must be called before process. I thought I had called validate though. Process. Oh, these are interfaces. Oh, that's going to be annoying. Yeah, right. So I need to work out which one it is. I think it would be this one, I think. This is where it gets tricky, because I've abstracted it out. I'm gonna just do some dumping, I think, just to get some idea as to where it's going. Renew. Why are we doing a renewal? Okay, fine, we're doing a renewal. That's not what I thought, but okay. So we do the subscription renew process. Right. I forgot I still need to fill these out, right? And these are in here. These are the processes. So renew doesn't have anything. New has, oh right. I remember now. Read notes. So yes, I do need to fill all this out. Why is it in renewal though? That's what I need to get my debugger working on this so I can actually step through it, I think. That would make my life a little easier. I think I might do that tomorrow. Get Xdebug and PHP Storm wired up. This is a semi-new Mac Mini, you know, so, or this is a new code base on that. So I just haven't wired it up. But I'm intrigued as to why it's on renew. So it would come through based on the decider. So on result, it would do get outcome, and we would make that. It would get the decision, and it would be based upon the calculation of the score. And the renewal has a score of is downgrade, is upgrade, is cancel, is fresh, is renew. Let's just get rid of this. Okay, sorry, hang on. So if the current score is equal to the selected score, and the current score is greater than 0. So the current score, the current plan, and the selected plan are the same, which is true. So yeah, it would be on renew. I'm wondering if I need to change this. I reckon I need to change this whole mechanics. Yeah. I reckon I should be doing it through like a status rather than through whether it's a current. Well, see, it works perfectly for downgrade and upgrades and cancel, but when it can't work out whether it's a new thing or a renewal, because you create so yeah, when the user logs in and then creates the Stripe customer, behind the scenes the current subscription is set but in a dormant state. So when this invoice comes through, it's going to have the same subscription, and therefore this thinks it's a renewal, but it's not. So I need to do some form of checking, I think, to make sure that this is the first subscription, because at the moment there isn't any kind of way of working through that. I can't even think how I would do that, unless there was something I would check against. So calculate score calculates whether or not so you pass in the subscription plan. Both this call happens twice, both on the current subscription plan and the new subscription plan. And in this case, they're both the same. I kind of need to do a check to see if there's a previous subscription plan. Yeah, we've got, at this stage, we've got this no, we don't. We've got current subscription plan selected. So what I'm saying is I think there needs to be more than just these two things to make the algorithm. I think there needs to be a third variable to work that out. That's a pain. Yeah, because that really should be in fresh. And I need to get this right because this is going to trigger emails and all sorts of stuff. So I don't know. I think maybe at this point, do we have the user? Yeah, we do. So from this point, we could see if there is a previous and then jump it through. Yeah, I wonder if we can do that. So we've got user here. We have get why is this not working? Oh, it's customer. Sorry. Get subscription. we have is active. All right, so if it's a new subscription, its active is going to be false. Also, we would have something like get orders, get, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe looping back over the user's history to see if there is, unless I could create like get subscription, unless there's some sort of thing on here that I could set to say this is the first one. Or have a counter of how many times it's being renewed. And if the counter is 0, then it's not gonna be a renewal. Yeah, I reckon I need to put something in the database to say that this is your first ever one. That would be more performant than having like looping through the history, just in case someone was to subscribe for a very long time. We would have to do a count of that. Okay. Cool. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. There's a lot of things I need to adjust and fix. I think we need to adjust the database a little, and then and adjust these calculations to discover whether there is a previous one. And if there isn't, then push it into fresh. And if there is, it's either going to be a downgrade, cancel, renew, or upgrade. Because if you think about it, if a customer has never subscribed before, it's not going to be an upgrade. If they've never subscribed before, it's not going to be a renew. If they've never subscribed, it's not going to be a downgrade. If they've never subscribed before, it's not going to be a cancel. It's going to be a fresh. So you kind of need to have this outside the box a little. I'm wondering if we need to pass the user into here and then adjust the calculations based on those things. Anywho, thank you ever so much for watching. Happy coding, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Cheers.